Fade to black.
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me. It is Mike Lepre, King Michael. This is Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It's Thursday night. We got a football game. Sunday's just ahead of us. Joining me as always, Brother Ray. Brother Ray, how you doing on Thursday night?
Hey, we get some cats tonight, right? Battle of the Cats.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
It's like a Broadway play, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? By the way, is that not the worst movie you've ever seen in your entire life, Cats?
I couldn't I couldn't watch the whole thing.
No, I know, but
made me watch it.
Was it just a bad idea from the start? Like the minute you looked at them, you were like, "No, don't do that." But they did it.
Not everything should be a movie.
Yeah. Rolling Stone has that as the number 13 sports movie of all time, Cats.
Better than Citizen Kane, probably.
Yeah. Joining me, Genius Kev. What's up, Kev?
Hey, what's up, King? When you started the show and you had the empty Giants Hall, I was hoping that was like a live shot and everyone had just moved out and they were gonna start over. I was a little excited for you, I have to say.
Well, that is my way of like kind of like letting them know we should just cleanse. You know what I mean? And start this whole thing over because, you know, God forbid, geez, Louise. Hey, Little Giants. There's another one. Write it down. Remember that one with the Little Giants versus the Little Cowboys? And it was coached by Rick Moranis?
No.
Against Ed O'Neill. Ed O'Neill is the older brother who owned the car lot. Little Giants? Oh, that's a great movie.
Who coached the Little Cowboys?
Ed O'Neill, the guy from Married with Children.
They had to win, right?
No, they lost in the last play. It was a great fucking. It was like this. The genius kid came up with this. There was one genius kid, and he didn't play, but he came up with this something of Alaska. The what's it called when you get rid of like a state? The annexation of Alaska. That's what was the play called. It was this dumb like Fumblerooski, and they won. But anyway, speaking of Fumblerooskis, Master Thomas, what's up, Matt?
How you guys doing tonight?
What? You've seen Little Giants, right?
Yeah, I have. It was a long time ago, but I remember. Yes, I do. What's so funny is you kind of blindsided me, but I should expect it. We're going to hear about this Rolling Stone top 30 for the next few months. It's going to be great.
It bothered me that much.
Yep.
It bothered me almost as much as that person on Facebook who posted the Rocky fighters from top to bottom, like as if they were real fighters and how they would be. And he had Apollo Creed as number 1. And then Rocky was 2. And then it was like somebody else. And then Ivan Drago. And I said, my point was, how can Apollo Creed be in front of somebody that killed him? Like, didn't just beat him in a fight, killed him. Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed. How is Apollo Creed better? And it like, doesn't even make sense. Like, then it went on, like, Tommy Morrison was way too high. This kid's an idiot. So, guys, we're going to go over the games, go through them, and then we will discuss tonight's game and give some other news. But let me start with this.
King, sorry. Ed O'Neill, I just convinced Ed O'Neill to take the real Cowboys job and replace Mike McCarthy.
That would, you know what? They would do better.
It didn't take much.
They'll do better. Yeah. See if he wants to be an offensive coordinator for the Giants. So here we go, guys. The big news. The big news is that the NFL announced their halftime show. And
awesome.
First time I've ever been like, this is great. This is going to be what I want to see. Like, holy cow, this is exactly my type of halftime show. Guys, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. I can't freaking wait, dude. I don't know how they're going to get away with not swearing once, but it's going to be amazing.
Wow, that sounds. I can't believe it. I thought you were like just gassing it up, but that actually sounds awesome.
That is the halftime show. Right, Brother Ray, what do you think of that show?
Yeah, you know what? They needed it. They really did need it. I mean, with a game like this, you really need as much as you can get. They really had to pull out the big guns for this.
Hey, Matt, you think the young kids look at those guys and they're like, Or do you think they have a respect for the fact that those guys are better?
It's got to be like 28 to 45 age bracket. But I think that there's some youngsters out there that might, I don't know, because the rap today is just so mumbo jumbo crap. But the coaches are going to be in the halftime going, "Where's my plays?" And they're going to be like watching the show.
Yeah, I mean, but how do they get through a set without swearing? Because
just switching the words.
No, I know, but that's a lot of words. Like I've never seen like a halftime show that had to switch so many words.
Every single one of those songs that we know, they got the clean version of it, so it'll be easy to them, I think.
For you, it doesn't show up.
All right. Other news. What's this thing about the fact that Eli Manning threw the double birds? Is that true, or is that just?
Yes. Oh, it was great.
So what happened? He did it during the show, and he didn't know it was on.
No, he was on. He was describing Philly fans. He said a 9-year-old kid. He was talking about how fans in Philly, how bad they are. He said like a 9-year-old kid will give you like double birds. Yeah,
that's great that he did that on TV.
He said, he's like, you can edit that out, right? Apparently not.
I didn't know that was even real because I didn't watch the game. So I'm like, did Eli Manning just drop double birds on TV? Does he not know not to do that? But then again, he's Eli Manning, right?
I love it. I like every one of those shows. I like him more and more. He was showing how he can open his hips. So he's in like his parents' basement in like jeans and socks and a t-shirt, and it almost looks like he's salsa dancing because he's obviously pro quarterback. You have to do. It was awesome. It was absolutely amazing. I love that.
See, the reason I really like Eli Manning is because you realize Peyton's this nonstop talking guy, but Eli's actually funnier because he just lays back in the cut and he picks his spots. But one of the funniest things I've ever seen him do was after a game, he's standing there and he's being interviewed by the NFL cast, and he ran for a touchdown, like a 10-yard touchdown. And they were like, "Oh, you ran." They're making fun of him. And he was like, well, you're just kind of born with that. You know that, right, Dion? And Dion's like, yeah, we're cut from a different cloth. And Eli's like, yeah, like he's like actually trying to relate to Dion. Then the other time they showed it, and someone goes, "Is this in slow motion?" I think they make a good group. I don't know. I like them. Wait, there's one other thing. Oh, so what do you guys think of this whole? Brady says they know I want to kick their ass. Like, you think Bill's involved in I'm sorry, Matt, kick their butts. You think Bill's involved in this? Like, you think he cares that much?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He does.
All right, Matt, do you?
100%. This is a very, very important game, not just for the Patriots in general, but Bill wants to crush Tom Brady. And what he said today in the media was very telling. They asked him, is he running anything equivalent to what he's been running with the Patriots? He said, it's the same exact offense we ran for 20 years. So what that's saying is we know what you're doing and what you're going to check into, what you're going to check out of, what your line's going to do. He knows it all. So let's not forget, right? Matt Patricia, an awful head coach, beat Tom Brady. I look at this spread line. It's 5.5, opened at 5.5, went to 6. It's telling me it's going to be a close game, guys. The whole world is going to be watching this game. It's going to be like a Super Bowl, and all of them are putting the money on the Buccaneers. I'm telling you right now, Patriots will cover that spread. It's not coming from a Patriots fan because a lot of Patriots fans, and I know you guys hate this, they still love Tom Brady. There's a big part of that percentage that cheers for them, but it's the way it went down. The Patriots didn't want him. They let him walk. The man that helped bring 6 titles to this region. And all he wanted was a market value contract, and he was getting nobody to play with. The fans loved him. There's going to be a moment where it's going to make you guys puke when he passes, and the classiness of that fan is going to stand for him. They still love him, and rightfully so.
All right, Brother Ray, let me ask you this then. Is it a good bet to expect Tampa Bay to run for like 400 yards as the Patriots come out and like put nobody on the line and they just have a bunch of good defensive backs? In other words, Bill's going to take away Tom no matter what, right? So I expect them to give up the run. This is something he did against the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl when he was the defense coordinator for the Giants. he let Thurman Thomas run for over 100 yards. He had to tell Bill Parcells, we're going to let Thurman Thomas run for over 100 yards. And Parcells was like, what? But the goal was we're just going to bring everybody back, play everything short, hit everybody quick. Because Brady wants to start off hitting those quick slants and stuff like that. So, Brother Ray, do you think that the Tampa Bay running backs are a good way to go this week?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know what? For them to win, they need a balanced attack. I'm just looking at who's going to win the game. This is going to be a circus. This is going to be a goddamn circus. He's going to pass Drew Brees at some point in that game. So you're going to get your standing ovation from, the Patriot faithful. But all Belichick cares about is winning the effing game. Yep. He really doesn't. You know what? He needs to win this game, okay? The Patriots are on the ropes right now. They need a win. So that's what he's going to concentrate on. And by the way, he's the one that made Tom Brady, okay? Tom Brady owes everything, his whole career, everything that he's done to Bill Belichick, okay?
Hold on there, brother. As I do agree with you.
That if it wasn't for Bill, he would probably be packing groceries right now at some supermarket because no one would have drafted him in that draft.
Hold on, Rao. I do agree with everything you just said because I think there could be a million Tom Brady's that have come and never had a chance without the stability of a good organization and nucleus around them. But it wasn't Bill Belichick who drafted him. It was Dick Rabine, the quarterbacks coach. This is also a 6th-round pick, so they got it wrong 5 rounds in a row, and so did the rest of the league. But you're absolutely right. The Patriots organization is the one that drafted him, but Tom Brady is the reason he's Tom Brady. He's got the fire of the only other person I've ever seen who's got that fire was Michael Jordan. He does not want to lose. He doesn't like losing.
I don't care about the fire. The fact is he's 45 years old, and Bill Belichick, he's the one that made the fire. He knows how to put it out.
Bill Belichick had nothing to do with Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl last year. Tom Brady won the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and that was without
the Bucs defense won that game.
Genius question for you. Genius question for you. At any point in the game, do you believe that Belichick might get booed?
No, I don't think so. How's he going to make a decision to get some booed? What would be the most amazing thing that could ever happen would be if the Patriots defense injured Brady on a questionable type play. That would be the NFL would burn itself down. That would go on for weeks and weeks, especially if it was like something where somebody went low that was legal 2 years ago and got flagged, and that would be just literally unbelievable. It would just be all about Belichick ordered it and like all that kind of stuff. So I hope it doesn't happen. I never hope any player ever gets hurt, but that would be real drama. That would like the whole football universe would stop.
All right, I'm going to say there's a better chance they boo Belichick pregame than that happened. You're shaking your head, but that building is going to be drunk and so pro Brady that it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, there's a chance they could boo Belichick. Watch, that's my bet. What's the odds on that? Look it up.
I think there's a chance that Tom Brady is very ill right now. The West Coast, the East Coast, West Coast, back to East Coast, jet lag. And if you heard him in the press conference today, he sounds as sick as a dog. They were saying he's playing possum and put makeup on. There's no possible way. I mean, this is, smoke screens and camouflage, but I don't think he was, faking the way he was sounding today. He sounds very sick. So,
yeah, maybe it's going to be the equivalent of the Michael Jordan flu game. But one thing I do want to say that you guys both commented on this, and what's very interesting to me is obviously Brady was a 6th-round pick. I don't think he was ever even full-time starter at Michigan, right? Patriots draft him. He's got he develops this incredible work ethic, this incredible preserve your body lifestyle. He trains every year as if they're going to the Super Bowl. He starts throwing on a schedule as if they're playing all the way through the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl. I think Belichick and the Patriots system built him to a large extent, and then now he carried that to Tampa. But like Brother Ray said, how many more picks were there? If no one drafted him coming out of college, what would he be doing right now? It's a crazy story. I know, look, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I love him to death and all that stuff. But these are all very interesting stories, very interesting questions, and that's why Sunday night's going to be.
All right, but let me give an outside opinion on this. Right? Here's what happened. Brady got a chance, right? He came in. He was this very system quarterback for the first couple of years, right? And I think we'd all agree with that. Then they started to open him up, and he suddenly would throw deep. And here's what happened, I think. So Belichick grew him or helped create him, but then Brady became like Frankenstein. Like he became better than like Belichick could ever hope for, and he went on and became his own thing. So I think you're both kind of right. I think without Belichick, there wouldn't be a Brady. I don't think.
He led the league somewhere else. He led the league in passing and passing touchdowns in his second year.
But I'm saying without Belichick, I don't think he gets that. Like he was a backup to.
He was thrown to Troy Brown and David Patton, and the best Super Bowl that he did not win, had he won it, would have been the most remarkable. Was Rasheed Caldwell and Doug Gabriel. That's why Bill Belichick thinks he can get away with not throwing to good receivers, is because he's did it before, and he just feels like, I don't value wide receivers. Why should I now? It's the same recipe. He's not changing with the NFL. The NFL is now passing him by, and we're seeing it. Yes, it is.
I don't think so.
You can say six rings all you want. He's 5-11 in 2000 with Drew Bledsoe and 0-2 with Drew Bledsoe. It's Tom Brady was. Listen, you could say it's a good combo. I'm saying that Bill Belichick is very lucky to have Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, and Brady embodied the Patriot way. Like he became the ambassador for it, and he took all the tongue lashings from Belichick to show that nobody's bigger than the system, than the team, all that stuff. And he took that to Tampa and all that. But that's why I hate the conversation. Like, who's better? Was it all Brady? Was it all Belichick? It was both of them together. They had a symbiotic relationship that was unbelievably productive. But I disagree that the NFL is passing Belichick by, because a lot of the stuff the rest of the NFL is doing, Belichick was doing much earlier. Like the Wes Welker role, he invented the slot receiver, making the slot receiver your number one guy so valuable. Now everyone talks about that. He invented the two tight end sets with Gronk and Hernandez as both tight ends being pass catchers. He invented that. And now the weirdest thing is he's switching back to a run-based offense, and I think he might be onto something, because the whole rest of the NFL is trying to defend passing offenses, and you got 6 cornerbacks out there, none of whom can tackle a running back. So maybe he's.
I love where you're going, Kevin. I absolutely love where you're going, but there's one magical piece that's missing, and it's Dante Scarnecchia. He might be still there in the background, but we've seen him walk away for a year, and it was a bad idea, and they were like, come back. Bill Belichick's getting $12 million a year. He needs to produce, and if he's not going to produce, they'll put Josh McDaniels in there.
Yeah.
They need to win. There's a reason they spent the most money in the offseason, and that's because Bob Kraft is feeling the pressure.
All right, brother Ray, you get the floor.
If you're wishing for Josh McDaniels, you guys are in a lot of trouble. You guys remember when Josh had his own team, what he did over there with team, ended up with Tim Tebow as his quarterback. Guys, you don't want Josh McDaniels, and that's when the reality is going to hit. When Belichick goes to the Giants and you guys are stuck with Josh McDaniels, then it's going to be really bad. That's when all the jerseys, all the 12 jerseys back in the closet, all the pink 12 jerseys in the mothballs, and they're going to turn that place back into a horse track.
Bill Belichick said this. I will stop coaching when the players are no longer teachable. And the fact of the matter is he lost his locker room because he was pro-Trump. There was players that were disrespecting him. I think that he's a tough coach, and that style, as we've seen it with Jadeveon Clowney and many other players, they don't want to play for an Army coach, and he is totally militant. So, listen, there's not a lot of players that want to come to play for New England right now, and that's just not. Who is a big name free agent that's come here recently?
Hunter Henry, John Smith,
they got paid. They got paid, and they got actually paid a little bit more than a lot of them got paid a little bit more than they should have.
I might agree with him right there that free agents don't really want to come to New England.
And Hunter Henry,
that'd be because it's New England, not because of the coach. That'd be because it's cold.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's the coach too. I mean, listen, if he's the greatest coach of all time, there would be a lot of players lining up to be utilized the best they could. It's not happening.
They do. Like that's so weird. Like you can list players that come like that are older that like come to win a ring. But the thing is, like, you'll never hear a player like what players do you hear say bad things about Belichick? The only one that I've heard is Jim McMahon and his
Richard Seymour was very vocal about him.
What?
You know, when he got traded to Oakland.
Yeah,
that's a GM move. Yeah.
But every player that goes there said like Belichick knows how to get the best out of them. Like they end up leaving making big money. Look at Trent Brown. Played 1 year in New England. They won a Super Bowl. Went to Oakland, signed the biggest contract for an offensive lineman in history. Now he's back because he couldn't produce in Oakland. Now he's back in New England. It happens over and over. He loses. He builds up guys. Then they leave for big paychecks. And then if they wash out, they end up coming back. Like Van Noy, another one. So
hey, Brother Ray, let me ask you this. So Golden Tate made another comment about how bad Joe Judge is and all this stuff, this, that, the other. And I thought to myself, boy, if there's somebody that can make me like Joe Judge again, it's Golden Tate. Like, who gives a shit what Golden Tate has to say? Like, that guy, I mean, he thought he was so much better than he was his entire career. Like, I don't know what he sees or what he saw or what he thought he did, but he's Golden Tate. I'm just saying. He was good. But, I mean, he's Jerry Rice. And then he acts like he's like this veteran that's like even keel and knows how the locker room goes. He's been an issue and a problem in locker rooms his whole career, Golden Tate. Am I wrong or am I right, Ray?
He slept with a teammate's wife.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Golden Tate, I mean, there's a reason why he's been on 6 teams. You know, again, like anything he says, you know, you're not gonna count for a grain of salt, but I think he's right, though, in this case. And Joe Judge is a disaster. So in this case, I'd say he's right, but he has 0.0 credibility.
Kev?
You see a question here? I agree with what everyone said. You guys know I don't like Joe Judge, but there's a question in the comments on starting 3 out of 4 wide receivers in a PPR league.
All right.
Robert Woods, Tyler Boyd, Marvin Jones Jr., Cortland Sutton. I'd go Boyd, Jones, Sutton. That's what I would do. But what do you
first?
guys
I would say I don't like your receivers.
Yeah,
that's what I would first say. I don't like the fact that you're picking from these 4. I thought, 3 out of these 4, huh? Not even just 2, Brother Ray. Who do you like?
Start Woods. I would start Woods. Don't give up on him, even though Cooper Kupp's been getting the majority of it. You know that Rams offense, they like to distribute. I would not sit Woods. Can't sit Woods.
So who would you sit out of 4?
I would probably sit Marvin Jones. I don't trust Lawrence yet. Although he may be good tonight because this is probably the first subpar defense that they've played. I don't know. I'd probably sit Jones Jr.
All right. Moving on. Let's go on to the games last week. Let's get through them and just give our reactions. Here we go. The Thursday night game was the Panthers and the Texans. Panthers went in and won. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull up our picks while I talk. The Panthers won 24-9. Kev, any thoughts on that game at all?
Yeah, I'll go quick. Biggest thing there, obviously, is CMC out for a few weeks. Jimmy Hubbard, looked good backing him up. Mike Davis did it last year. He looked great. So I'm not that pessimistic on the Panthers. That's absolutely lost McCaffrey. I thought Texans actually hung in tough. I was a little worried with Sam Darnold. He looked like he was kind of stuck in neutral for 2 quarters until they figured it out again without C-Mac in the end of the third. So not a surprising Panthers win. I don't like Davis Mills. I thought he showed some promise, but I think he's got a long way to go. And the last thing is Brandon Cooks, unbelievable.
Right? And then on the game,
I'll say this: I was wrong about Davis Mills. I was completely wrong about Davis Mills. He really impressed me with that performance. The beating that he took, no turnovers, and they had the training wheels on him. Coach already said that they're going to take the training wheels off this week and they feel confident running the full offense. He wasn't running the full offense, and he did a great job. And I really liked Anthony Miller. We talked about him last week. I said, make sure you watch him. He looks good. 6 targets, 4 catches. He's going to be the clear number 2 there. And I think he's just as talented as Cooks. I'll be honest with you. I think he's just as talented. He was in Chicago, where all good players go to die or get killed or get sacked 9 times.
Wow. Let's move on to the next game. The Colts got beat by the Titans at home. The Titans are at home. Derrick Henry had 3. What do you have? 100 and whatever. He's got 353 rushing yards so far this season. Matt, what do you think of this game? Matt's muted. Now, Matt.
I honestly, I was on the other side with the Colts. I figured the Colts would put up more of a fight. And now I'm starting to wondering how much fight the Colts actually have. It doesn't look like the defense is as potent as it was last year. And, it's nice to see Michael Pittman come around, but I don't know. I think something's not right there in Indy, and, it is what it is.
It's the quarterback position. I think that's what it was. That's what we were afraid of, and that's how it's played out, right?
Yeah, and their defense. The Colts defense was supposed to be much better than they've been playing, and they've been susceptible to the big play. He ran all over them, and I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought for sure they would at least check the run. I think I had Tennessee in this game, but, the Colts defense has been a big disappointment in addition to the offense, obviously.
I love me some Titans against the spread. Kev, what did you think of the game?
I don't think you could have 2 more dysfunctional teams battling out for a division. That's the worst division in football. You got the Colts and the Titans both have tremendous flaws, and then you got the Jags and the Texans as also rans. It's a really weird game. I applaud Wentz for playing with the 2 sprained ankles, but he looked terrible. Titans, obviously pulled it off. I think I bet the Titans, but AJ Brown is hurt. Derrick Henry's still piling up all those touches. We'll see how long they can go before the wheels fall off. But right now, I'd say Titans win that division.
Ray, any thoughts?
I agree. They started off bad, but they've turned it around the past couple of weeks, and the Colts are still trying to find themselves. Again, not good right now for Frank Reich.
All right, let's go to the Giants. Lost at home to what was thought to be the worst team in the league, the Falcons. I feel like we've spoke way too much on the Giants. If you guys want to add something about this game, go ahead. I think the Giants are a train wreck on fire with garbage on top of them. The only team worse than the Giants this year is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles, but that's no prize. You don't celebrate 31st. Kev, anything?
No, I completely agree. The only thing I took from that game that I liked was, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, Cordell Patterson actually has a real role on the Falcons. It's kind of crazy, but he's pretty splitting time with Mike Davis. He's getting he's running a lot of routes, getting a lot of targets, catching a lot of passes. It's nuts. And I know, I'm pretty sure I texted you guys during that game. So I was in New York, obviously I'm watching it. Joe Judge just he burns timeouts at silly times. I'm kind of like, yeah, you might need that one. It's a 1-score game. And you probably want to conserve your timeouts. And he just doesn't get it. I think the Giants are going to kind of implode.
Right. We got a question, Genius. Looks like we have another question for fantasy.
Should I start Juju or Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the flex if he's healthy? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That to me it's an easy one, right? If he's healthy, you start Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Anybody? I'm sorry, you muted it. Do you disagree with that? No, you have to unmute yourself. I'm saying you have to unmute yourself. Thoughts on? Oh my God!
I got him.
This might be the whole show. I get a weird feeling about this. There it is. Nope! Don't touch anything.
Do it again. There we
All right, go.
I got my little girl talking to her toys, so I mute myself. But yeah, it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But I do want to make one comment. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Falcons.
Yeah, they did. That's all right, though. The bottom three teams right now are the Eagles, Falcons, and Giants, so that's going to happen. You know, crap beats crap sometimes. Some crap floats, some crap sinks. But other question is, what's up? I want to have a dog in the fight. Fortunately, I have a squad good, even that it's either kicker Dustin Hopkins or defense. I can't read this. Kev? I don't know what he's saying.
Either kicker have Dustin Hopkins or defense have Arizona. Should I grab McPherson or Wright, Jags kicker?
I like McPherson. I think I already put it in there. He's a stud on a rising stud on a really good offense, and no one really knows about him right now. I think I would go with him.
I honestly, if Green Bay's defense is out there, they're going to be picking on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a gift that keeps on giving. I'd take Green Bay's defense at home against Pittsburgh.
Arizona's D, too. They're going to be facing some tough teams coming up, and the Jags move the ball against them. So take away that interception for a touchdown, and they have an average week.
I gotta be honest, right? Whoever MB is kind of like presumptuous and like arrogant to ask people who to start as kicker or defense. Am I right, Kev? I mean, let's be honest, right? If you like, who the heck asked you where to look? Should I start a kicker or a defense? It's like, dude, if your team's that good that you're stressing over your kicker or defense, I would say don't worry about it. right? Like, have I ever called you and been like
Hopkins? I mean, I would get rid of Hopkins if he's asking. Should I get rid of Hopkins? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would get rid of Hopkins.
There's better offenses out there than Washington. Washington's got a pretty tough game this week. Who are they playing?
I don't have that in front of me.
I would
No,
go
I do.
around.
It's right here. I'm just goofing around. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't
have information. No access to that information.
I know what you're talking about.
They're at the Falcons. So.
Oh, they could score some points. They could score some points, but I would still.
No, whatever. I got to be honest. I still find it a little arrogant to ask somebody about your defense. I don't know.
And the thing too is he's got Arizona as a defense. They're playing the Rams, so
I
it's a good week to start
I
Arizona.
don't think I would do that.
Their defense.
Yeah, I would not put out Arizona defense against the Rams. That's definitely.
Hey, it's all about winning the week. If we can help you win the week, we will help you win the week. Bring it.
I'll tell you what, though. Right now, I'm waiting for confetti to come down because that's the goddamn longest we've ever talked about kickers and defense. Right? Like, geez, Louise. Imagine
if it wins the week.
Yeah, I know, but geez, Louise. I do agree, though, Mike. It could come off that way, but it's all in seriousness. All right.
Trying to win the week. Give him credit.
I gotta take him on his word. All right, next game. The Chiefs got beat at home by the Chargers. I, for one, was on this. Matt, you go first because I'm going to mute you. You got like a whole background going on.
Yeah, I got my kids and my little girl is past her bedtime. I should have put her to bed before, but the Chiefs, they're in the bottom of the West. I had them looking like a Titan this year, but the thing is we've seen for the last few years they love to get out. Let these teams out to big leads and then they come back. The problem is, and Kevin has said it time and time again, they love these big plays. It seems like all their scoring drives is just a big play. They don't know how to methodically go down the field. Even though CEH had a good game last week, you don't see any rhyme or reason in their offense. I think that they're in trouble until they really find another intermediate player. It's always Hill and it's Kelsey. I think Hill's a little banged up right now. That's why they got Josh Gordon in there. But what's Josh Gordon going to do? Not much.
Hey, Brother Ray, can Clyde Edwards-Helaire come up with a better nickname? Can we all agree on a better way to say his name? Everyone says like CEH, or some people say like Edward Hilaire, or some like it's Hilaire. Like
It's Elair. The H is silent.
Elair.
whatever.
Yeah, he's got to do something. But you know what? He's got to do it on the field first, right?
Exactly.
You play well on the field, you'll get the cool nickname. Right now, he still hasn't busted out yet. I mean, I think he can, but yeah. Now the nickname right now, it just doesn't roll off the lips,
Kev, do you get mad at people when they say sword?
I don't think I've heard anyone say sword in a very, very long time, but it wouldn't make me mad, but I would try to use a sentence about 3 minutes later and say sword, just so they kind of got it without being told.
I like to throw the word sword into a conversation sometimes with somebody just to kind of see if they're paying attention and if their reaction. It's usually
I'd be happy if he didn't fumble. Like maybe
this guy's a dummy.
Work on the fumbles, then we can work on his nickname.
All right, brother. All right, geez, Louise, what are you drinking? Calm down. The next game was the Bengals.
One thing I want to say about that game
Go ahead.
is that I cannot believe that I was dumb enough to miss out on Mike Williams in every league I'm in. They were saying, like, we're looking for a guy, and everyone knows Mike Williams is a physical freak, and they were actually telegraphing it. We're going to try to use him a little shorter, some intermediate routes, not only deep throws. If you got Mike Williams, I applaud you because I was dumb enough to miss him in all my leagues, and I'm very disappointed about it.
All right. So I'm now going to move on to Cleveland, where the Browns beat up on the Bears. I get excited that the Bears are so bad. They had one net passing yard on the game. Like, they're going to be at the bottom with the Giants. We're going to clear house, and we're going to get – all right, never mind. Ray, what did you think of the game? Brownies beat the Bears 26-6.
Pretty sure I had the Browns in this. I mean, I think I'd like to see like a new sitcom on TV with Joe Judge and Matt Nagy like as roommates and watch how like they like end up dying in the apartment because they both can't even like make popcorn. Like I don't know. I like Nagy's another absolute imbecile who should be under criminal charges for what he did to Justin Fields. I mean, 9 sacks, 13 hits. I mean, that's another coach that needs to go, and he needs to go soon.
But see, here's the problem. So, Kev, here's the problem I have with this game. So, everyone keeps trashing Gettleman, right, with the Giants. And I almost sometimes think that maybe he doesn't deserve the trashing he gets because Joe Judge is the guy that's a screw-up, and he didn't hire Joe Judge. Gettleman's the one who got the Odell trade, which was fantastic for us. Gettleman's the one who just made the trade last year that's going to get us the Bears' #1 pick, and they stink. This is my point. So Gettleman's done a lot of great moves. The one thing he hasn't done is the one thing he claimed he was going to do, and that was fix the offensive line. So he's been really good, I think, as a GM. He just never did what he promised he was going to do.
So, like, his most important problem to solve,
he didn't do it.
Has to solve.
Yeah.
So, therefore, he can't be that good as a GM.
He's like a movie. He's like a character in a movie. He's at that one floor, Kev, like Major League. He can't hit the curveball, Serrano, or like, you know what I mean? Little things like that. That's how he is.
Did you guys notice that the Bears were wearing their jerseys that they were like I don't forget the year, but the year that they wore those jerseys last was the last time that they held a team to like 36 total yards, and that was the same year that they did that stat. That's just incredible to me.
It is awesome.
It is. And like, did you see like Myles Garrett 4.5 sacks? We all know that. He actually tweeted out. No, he didn't tweet out. He did an interview, and the reporter tweeted it that he was shocked at the way they used Justin Fields. He's like, they didn't roll him out. There were no design runs. And like, if someone defending you is calling that out, like Matt Nagy's got to go. You guys know my list. Matt Nagy's got to go. Zach Taylor's got to go. Cliff Kingsbury's got to go. Zimmer's got to go. Pete Carroll's got to go. And I could probably name a couple more, but like those 5 are destroying franchises. And the fact that 2 or 3 of those 5 have young quarterbacks, Judge, of course, is absolutely awful.
Urban Meyer has to go.
Yeah, he's got to go.
That's another one. That's another one. I don't think he gets the game at all. I'll be honest, guys. I think that there's a problem with Urban Meyer in the sense that he doesn't get the culture, the players, the game. It doesn't seem right for him at all. And again, who's going to pay the price for that? Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
because he's going to get beat up. He's going to have no hair by the end of the season.
Yeah, the dynamic in college is different. The coaches control everything. They control that player. That player's on scholarship. That coach can make that player disappear. In the NFL, you do not have that power. They are not going to play because you're going to take away their scholarship. These guys are getting paid.
You know, Matt played for Urban Meyer.
I'll tell you right now, the Rams just ransacked them. C.J. Henderson, very good player, and they got Dan Arnold and a pick. But I'll tell you right now, that's a good corner right there, and the Rams are just getting richer.
Hey, Kev. So out of all those coaches, do you think any get fired mid-season?
No. Not Urban Meyer.
No,
Kev?
Urban won't. Taylor won't because the Bengals are cheap. Nagy, I don't think will because Chicago is way too much of an old school organization. Judge won't because it's Samara's. Don Zimmer is the only one that has a chance of getting fired mid-season. Urban Meyer, the only way he leaves mid-season is if he takes like the USC job or something else. But I think all those are probably going to hang on, which is interesting because last season there were a few coaches fired during the season. Right?
Do you think there'll be any?
I mean, you just got to look and see. I mean, maybe Nagy, to be honest with you. If things continue and their rookie quarterback is getting killed, or he trots out Dalton out there and it's the same thing, and it probably will be the same thing, I think at some point Nagy could be fired because they can't put up with 2 8-8 seasons, and now this. You get Justin Fields. They had a really good draft, strong draft. But I think he could be the one. But Genies, you said Klingsbury should be fired.
Kingsbury's got to go.
He's 3-0.
He's got to go. He's
3-0.
Not a good coach. He's not in game. Right, Brother Ray. He tried a 68-yard field goal at the end of the half because for the vanity of his kicker, that Jacksonville caught and returned for a touchdown. Couldn't have happened to a brighter guy. Awful choice. I wish they would have lost that game. When Kingsbury's done, you're going to be like, wow, they burned Kyler Murray's rookie deal. They burned it. Now you're going to pay Kyler Murray $50 million a year. He's going to be taking 15% of the salary cap. And now we're screwed. Like Kingsbury's got to go.
Matt.
Yes,
Matt.
sir.
Let me ask you this: with the problem in Chicago, Cole Kmet, what?
Yeah.
It's like 2 years of being ruined, right?
I can't believe he's behind the starter there, and not only just Cole Kmet. How about Allen Robinson? Darnell Mooney. Dave Montgomery's a nice back too. They've got the weapons there. They've got a decent defense.
Young. This is his second year. He's had 2 years of garbage, Cole Kmet. Like, that's a guy that should be playing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sad because, I think that they got the tools to do it, but it is Matt Nagy. I can see him being fired midseason, absolutely. And I can see Joe Judge being fired midseason too. I don't think the Giants tend to hold on to their people forever and ever. That's the way they are, but I could see him being let go.
That would never happen.
We had a question in the chat. What do you guys? What's your take on coaches who ruin QBs? They don't.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They don't belong in the league, and they don't last very long.
And Matt, the Giants will not fire. The Giants will never fire a coach midseason. It's just not something they would do. He'd have to really do something to get fired midseason. Kev?
No, I agree with you. They're an old school organization. I think. As I'm thinking about it, they might get fired because Ron Pace, the GM there, Pace, is so he's so on the hot seat that you might fire the coach just to keep your job.
Ron could be the next GM. Maybe Ron Pace is the next GM.
Oh my God! Hey, guy. Start Justin Fields, guy. Just guy. That's Ronnie Pace is the GM. You know what I mean? Like Ronnie Pace. How the heck did that come out of your mouth?
His last name was Pace. He's the first Pace I thought of.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
So
Going
I just want to bring something up. It's what is it? It's like 10 out of 8. I think the kickoff. I just want to make sure we get the Thursday night picks in.
Oh, we'll get it. Okay,
cool. All right.
Yeah, we'll get it. I'll just pull the plug on these games at one point and give the people what they want, Kev. I'll take my shirt off and give the predictions. Ravens at Lions. Lions got beat 19-17. The story of that game was Justin Tucker hit a 66-yard field goal. Kev, do you hate it when people say field goal?
Of course.
All right. Ray, what did you think of that game?
You know what? It's one of the number one reasons why you should not bet on NFL football. Okay. Number one reason. I mean, you're sitting there watching, all right, how many players aren't playing because of COVID? Like, you actually have to figure that stuff out and be looking at that before you could bet on that game. I mean, just a miserable game. Great kick. Don't get me wrong. History making. I thought the Detroit fans were really classless by like not acknowledging that they saw history. All right, you lost. All right, but usually you get beat by 30. So be happy that you lost, on a game-winning kick.
Kev?
Yeah, that was probably the best kick I've ever seen. I was like watching the game, and I when it hit the crossbar, it bounced straight up like several feet in the air, and then you couldn't tell if it went forward or backwards. And then the refs raised it. I was unbelievable. But the other thing that was cool about it was they had like the field goal try line on the field, like they do when you're watching a game, and the Ravens were like 6 yards behind it, and they went for the kick. But obviously, I bet once I knew all the starters were out on Baltimore, I bet Detroit money line. Obviously, lost that. I bet Detroit point spread, won that, so that was cool. But I would rather hit the money line. But the only thing from the game, Swift is a beast. If someone in your league wants to trade Swift, pick him up if you can. And Rashad Bateman, when he comes back, is going to have a role in that offense. He's going to. Baltimore needs something. Marquise Brown is dropping passes. He's very immensely talented, but they're going to love they're going to love trying to get Bateman on the field. So if you can get him, get him.
Matt, let me ask you this: do you ever feel really bad for females who take selfies every single day and they post it, and it's just their face doing the same pose but in someplace different? Yeah, it's like, here's me in the kitchen. Yeah, here's me here. Here's me there. They got the duck lip and everything. It's photoshopped.
It's a disorder.
Every day.
Dude, they took a long time to take that photo too. They were like, this is perfect. I was going to say the same thing Kevin was going to say. Pick up Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, agreed. And I also agree that there's got to be a term for the that problem of constantly taking a selfie of yourself every day, and it's just like, hey, here I am now, right?
Guys, before we leave Detroit, everyone talks about the Babe Ruth curse. The Bobby Lane curse is probably the strongest curse in all of sports. Okay, what he's done to the Detroit Lions. I mean, Babe Ruth can only dream of doing that to the Red Sox. That's all I got to say.
All right. Let's move on to a couple more games. We'll hit them up quick. Pats got beat by the Saints 28-13. This is the first time the Saints won in New England since 1995. And also, the Cardinals went to 3-0, lumped up the Jaguars 31-19. What are your thoughts on those games, Genius?
So Saints. I thought the Patriots would win that game. Saints outcoached the Patriots, which is amazing for Sean Payton. Congratulations to him. I don't think the Saints have an offense. I still don't think they have an offense, but they proved their defense is enough to shut down the New England offense. And it was kind of sad to see, honestly. I'm pretty down on New England right now. It's only week 3, but I'm a little bit down on them because I predicted they would make it as a wild card spot. So I'll stop there.
Ray, I'm going to skip you on those games. Matt, what did you think of those 2 games?
I didn't hear the second game, but I would touch on. What was the second game we said? The Pats and the Saints.
Pats and the Saints, and the Cardinals and Jags.
The Patriots aren't as bad as they have looked. I think they played way too conservative in week 1 against Miami. They lost up front against the Saints, and that's where I think Dante Scarnecchia is missed. Usually you see them protect the king. Usually you see them run. I knew they weren't going to be able to run against the Saints. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I figured that Mac Jones would be able to win that game. Tough loss. I don't think it's as bad as the score was. You know, you can never give a team a free touchdown right out the second half, and blocked punt. Just not things that you see out of the Patriots.
All right. Anything about the Jaguars Cardinals? No.
The only thing I'll say on that one is I don't know why, but the Cardinals reduced their usage of Rondale Moore a ton in that game. I don't think they should be doing stuff like that. Like Rondale Moore needs to be on the field. Their offense is much more dynamic. I think the Jags actually looked pretty good until that like a pick six towards the end of the game. But you know, I still like DJ Chark. I still like Marvin Jones. I'm still low on Livius Shenault. But you know, I think the Jags offense might actually have a decent night tonight.
Ray, I'm going to ask you a bunch of games. I'm going to give you a game. Just give me like a one-word line that would describe what you thought of the game. Raiders beat the Dolphins at home 31-28.
I called it right down to the T. I said the Raiders would win by 3, take the 3.5 with the Dolphins, and it was true, unfortunately, but it was true.
Minnesota won at home 30-17 over the Seahawks.
I had Minnesota. I mean, I love Minnesota. I said they were going to come back. I mean, that quarterback right now is playing as good as any quarterback in the league right now. He's as good as anybody. If he's out there in any fantasy leagues, jump on him with 2 feet.
All right, Ray. Rams beat the Bucks at home 34-24.
I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, and I stuck with them on Sunday, even though I had my doubts, but they proved me right. And I think they're the best. I think they're probably the best team in football.
49.
Okay. Sorry, King, before you move on, I think it would be remiss if we didn't let M1 talk about that game. He was heavy on the Rams. There's a lot of argument on that, a lot of debate on that. He hit it. He called it out loud.
Go ahead, Matt.
I
unmuted him. Are you?
It just lined up perfectly. The Patriots secondary. I mean, Patriots South secondary was it's just, you know, was there for the taking, and you know, it's tough to take everybody's best shot, and the Rams were like, not right now. This is our time. When you see a spread that's inviting, that's what it was doing. I guarantee there was probably 80% plus on the Bucks, and you know, it was dinner. It was dinner time, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close.
Ray, last game, 49ers lose at home 30-20. The Packers beat them. Thoughts?
You know, Shanahan actually impressed me a little bit. I mean, I've been down on Shanahan all year. They played well. They should have won that game, but you left 7 seconds on the clock, and you can't do that against Aaron Rodgers. And you know what? Another case of Shanahan not really, you know, managing the clock as he should.
Well, like I'm the biggest clock management guy going, and the 37 seconds.
Said that out loud.
And I text you guys when coaches make bad decisions. 37 seconds, no timeouts is not awful. The only thing they could have done was, instead of kicking it through the end zone, was do a kick that lands on the 2-yard line and force them to run it back. Then they're going to lose another like 4 to 7 seconds. But like, I get it, but it's like 37 seconds and no timeouts. That's not awful. There's coaches that'll leave a minute 20 to a team with 3 timeouts. So I thought that was just horrible luck for the Niners, and I was actually excited for Jimmy G, because all he does is take crap from everybody, and he drove them down the field, got a touchdown, got the lead, and again, 37 seconds is not egregious.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah. I like the word egregious. Guys, the Monday night game, the Cowboys at home beat the Philadelphia team 41-21. Now, do you think this was the Eagles showing how bad they are, or the Cowboys showing how good they actually are? Let's start with Matt.
Combination of both. You know, Jalen Hurts probably got 5 games in right now, not reading defenses, served up the pick 6. I mean, the cornerbacks weren't even backpedaling. They were basically playing, you know, a very small intermediate area. They weren't respecting Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts wasn't showing anything. Even when Jalen Hurts started rolling out and going for a run, they came right up and they were stuffing them. It was kind of not reminiscent of Justin Fields and Matt Nagy, but you would have liked to have seen them come up with something sexy, and there was nothing sexy out of that Eagles offense. Where's Devontae Smith? They're having problems right now, but like I said the last show, I don't ever make excuses for winning, and no matter who they're going against, it's the NFL, and a win is a win. So I'm just going to go ahead and say the Cowboys earned it, and regardless of who was over, the Cowboys look good.
Kev?
Yeah, I agree with all that. The thing I will say about the Eagles, because I've gotten to respect them a little more, but they have both of their starting guards are out, and they lost their left tackle. So Jalen Hurts is going to be in a world of hurt for the next several weeks until they figure out how to handle all that. Cowboys look great. Like the Cowboys offense, you got Zeke, you got Tony Pollard, who looks awesome. The two of them together look phenomenal. You got the two wide receivers, Gallup's coming back, and the two tight ends looked awesome. They ran two tight end sets, the most they've done it all season. Schultz looks great. Jarman looks great. So every one of their skill positions is very, very talented. It's phenomenal. It's a great offense to watch. I don't like Mike McCarthy. The end of the first half is exactly why. He could have really put his boot on the throat, and instead they let the first half clock out, which I could not believe. He didn't call timeouts, get the ball back, and really do it. And that's going to be their undoing. There's going to be a wild card game, and if they probably won't get to the wild cards, they never do, but wild card game where his clock management makes them lose. The defense looked better, but you guys got to look statistically. After the first 2 weeks, Dallas was the 32nd ranked defense in the league, so it looks better. Maybe it will get better, but they still have some weaknesses on that side of the ball, especially with Lawrence out.
Brother Ray?
I love that defense. Take away that Tampa Bay game, the first game of the year, where Brady just went ballistic. You take that game away, they're the best defense in football. They've had turnovers these last 2 weeks and sacks these last 2 weeks. They're playing really well, and they have a bunch of players that are hurt that are still on the shelf right now. Yeah. I think they're playing well. I haven't seen them play this well in a long, long time.
See, yeah, I should have mentioned it because when Lawrence went out, they took Micah Parsons, who's been one of their inside linebackers, and said, "You're a rookie. You're talented enough. You're going to play defensive end." And he's become a pass rusher, and that's amazing. I'm setting myself up to not get completely heartbroken when McCarthy blows this whole thing, but they have so much talent. Like I feel like Stu, they have so much talent. Like let's just do it.
You're damaged. Yeah. You're damaged.
All right. Finally, on to tonight's game.
18 years. It's been 20-something years, Brother Ray.
Yeah.
Could you have picked
Don't talk to me. 40, 50 years, for God's sakes.
Could you have picked two interesting yet not interesting, but somewhat interesting teams? The Jaguars versus the Bengals tonight in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by 7.5. Ooh, that half hurts. Over under is 46. Let us begin with Genius Kev.
No, I'm gonna cede my time to M1 because this game this has him written all over it. I had a 7.5. It was 6.5. Easy conversation. 7.5. This is the Vegas angle. This is the whole. I just want to hear it.
Matt,
don't you put this on me, Genius? Don't you put this on me? I got I teased Cincy and the under, so I got Cincy at 1.5, which I don't think that half is really going to matter. It would probably be, I think the Jaguars cover the 7.5. I really do. I think that spread's too big, but I think since he's going to run, the offense has been going through Mixon. I do like Tyler Boyd tonight. I think T. Higgins is still banged up. But this has the makings for a scrappy team that's been losing a lot to try and look good, and I think that they could look decent against the Bengals. We'll see. I could come back and be hurt because both these defenses kind of got a little bit of holes in them. At 46 might be every other primetime game be over by halftime. So I would tread lightly. This is a kind of a garbage game. I don't feel anything towards any way in particular, so I would just say go with what you feel.
All right, I got the winner for you then, because I do have the two-team parlay for tonight's game, and it's going to go down exactly like this. It's going to go down that the Bengals win by more than 7.5. That's why it's 7.5. They're making us think that, it's going to be close like that, but it's not. And it's going to go over 46. The Jaguars will probably score 14, 17 points, probably 17 points maybe, and Cincy will probably score 35, something like that. It's going to be those kind of games. Ray, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a defense that Jacksonville can actually make some noise against, I think, tonight. And I think their offense could very well wake up. I think this is one of those Vegas traps that you could easily walk into. Jacksonville could very well win this game, and it really wouldn't surprise me. But if I have to pick this game, and trust me, I don't. You'd have to force me. I would have to go with the Bengals here, given the 7.5. Although I'd probably tease it,
Brother,
just to be safe.
I was going to take Cincy with my survivor pick, and I said, I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
no. I mean, this defense, Jacksonville can make some noise against this defense. They played some tough defenses before this. Denver's tough. Even Houston's defense is decent. They can make some noise tonight against the Bengals.
Since in the over, Kev, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jacks because that extra half point I'm gonna go with. I actually think I don't think Jacksonville's defense is horrendous. I think Zach Taylor. This is weird because these are my two worst coaches are playing each other. But I think it's Thursday night prime time. I think Trevor Lawrence is actually going to string together a decent game against Cincinnati. I think the Jacksonville defense is decent enough to keep Cincinnati in check. And also, Zach Taylor is not an aggressive coach. So if they get a lead, they don't keep passing when they get a lead. They just don't. It's not what they do. So Jacksonville can kind of sneak in, backdoor cover, like that kind of thing. So that's why I'm gonna go Jacksonville, and I'm gonna go over because the under seems too obvious. So I'm gonna go over. I'm learning lessons from M1. Sometimes you gotta go the other way with what everyone thinks. So I'm gonna go Jacks and the over.
You know what's funny? Someone's cleaning dishes, and I can tell you this much right now. I just gave you guys the winners, and I don't know why you didn't listen. You went right against me, Kev. I just told you it's going to be Cincinnati by more than 7.5 in the over, and you didn't listen. All right, question right now. Who wins the trade? Elijah Mitchell and Robert Woods for Nyheim Hines and Jamar Chase? I would take the second two. I would take the second two. Jamar Chase is better than everybody. Hold on, wait, Matt. Matt, go ahead.
I think Elijah Mitchell's going to come back, and he's going to be the bell cow there. But then again, you're in a 49ers offense where they just like to rotate backs. But I still think Mitchell is going to be the lead back. Robert Woods is going to come around. Jamar Chase is probably the star of this whole trade.
And is it a keeper league? That's big too.
Oh, it's a keeper league?
No, I'm asking the person who posted this. You got to let us know if it's a keeper league or if it's just a redraft.
I think you get two players that you can put in with Robert Woods and Mitchell, and then Nyheim Hines, PPR machine, but he can be ghost, and I don't expect that from Woods in the future. This is a high-octane offense for the Rams.
Brother Ray?
I think any San Francisco running back is fool's gold because, he's going to put different people in there. So Elijah Mitchell, yeah, I think he's going to play this week, and he could be the guy. Trey Sermon could be the guy. Jeff Wilson could be the guy. We can go on and on. I do like Chase only because he's getting the volume right now. Woods is kind of, he's got Kupp on the other side. Right now, Chase is getting the volume. That might change a little bit when Higgs gets back, but right now, he's got the volume. I think if Matt gets traded, Hines' value does go up. Hopefully he'll get more balls. But right now, with Sirianni gone, he has not been catching the receptions that he did when Sirianni was there. So there's four risky players right there. I will say that. That's a tough trade right there. I'd probably go with the second one, but it's very, very close.
All right, we're going to speed this up. Here's a better question. Higbee, Goddard, or Knox, season-long PPR?
I got to say Higbee, guys. I got to say Higbee only because he's getting the volume and he's playing 100% of the snaps. Goddard, I have him in a league. He's going to share with Ertz no matter what. You don't know what you're going to get week to week. Knox has been playing well, touchdown a couple of weeks, but he's kind of touchdown dependent. So if it's PPR, my vote is Higbee.
Well, one thing I will say, Knox, the last couple of weeks, his percentage of routes run is going through the roof. He was out running routes on like 80% of the plays last week, and like that's huge, especially in the Buffalo offense. Goddard, I'd probably eliminate, but like Goddard is probably the most talented of the three, but it's Philly, and so that Higbee is in the Rams offense. He's awesome, but like the three of them are all. This is like, should I go with tight end 12, 13, or 15? Like none of the, there's to me, there's like whichever one you pick is almost like a dart throw. Like there's no real way to argue the right one or the wrong one. They're all basically the same. I would probably say Knox, Higbee, Goddard, and Ray would go Higbee, Knox, Goddard. So, but like they're all the same.
All right, guys. Last words for the night before we wrap it up. Next time you'll hear from us will be Sunday morning. Matt.
Nothing. Got to put my little girl to bed. She's going to hurt herself. She gets hurt every single night when she's tired, and she's very tired right now, so I don't want her to get banged up.
Yeah, don't get her banged up. Put her to sleep. Ray, last words.
Now, looking forward to watching this football tonight. It'd be interesting to see what happens in this game if the Jags can get off the floor and, get a win. The Bengals, let's see if they can beat a team that they're supposed to beat.
Kev, last words.
I can't wait to see this tonight. Like I'm going to be texting you guys with bad coaching decisions. I can't wait to see both of them on the sidelines on a Thursday night game where everyone's watching them. I can't wait to see it. So I'm excited for tonight.
My final words are: everybody enjoy the game tonight. I am going to be going from here to next door several times. Getting Bar Fangul finally set up in my home. Can't wait to talk to you guys on Sunday. Make sure you tune in right at 11:05 a.m. We will break down all the games, give you all the winners, give you all the point spreads. We'll give you at the end our parlays. We'll give you what you need, guys, what we're saying. Fantasy picks, who to start, who to sit from Brother Ray. We got it all. See you on Sunday, 11:05 for more legit fantasy football. Thanks, guys. We're out.